Most people suffer from what I call NPBO, naive positivity and blind optimism. We grew up in a society that trained us to be good liars. We weren't encouraged to talk about how we really feel, what we really think. We weren't supposed to be ourselves. We were forced to neglect ourselves. We were forced to live a lie. We were forced to say we feel good even when we weren't feeling good. We were forced to be positive even when we weren't feeling positive. We were forced to say what they wanted us to say. That's why most adults are good liars. Children are more honest than adults, but they are being trained to be liars. By the time they become adults, they're good liars. That should tell you something. If you live in a society where you're not allowed to say, hey, I do not feel good about this. This doesn't feel right to me. If you live in a society where you're just forced to do things that you don't really want to do, things that do not make you happy, things that are totally meaningless to you, they just force you. Like, do what we are saying you must do. And when you feel sad in the end, when you feel hopeless in the end, when you feel lonely in the end, they say, you have an illness. You have an illness. They don't realize that they forced you to be someone that you're not. They forced you to lie. They forced you to say you're okay even when you were not feeling okay. Radical honesty is rare in our society. It's rare to find a person who's actually honest. It's rare to find a person who can actually be honest. Some people can't even be honest because they're no longer in touch with their true feelings. They don't even think original thoughts. We live in a society where we're supposed to be positive no matter what. We do not live in a society where we're supposed to look at everything thoroughly and see what is actually going on. No matter what happens, you must remain positive. And because of that, we don't really see things as they really are. That's why when I say we live in a hell realm, some people say, oh, you're too negative, you're too negative. Or you're weak. If someone tells you you're weak because you're telling them the truth, ask them, does it mean that what I'm saying is not true? Don't even try to, prove to them that you're not weak. Ask them, does it mean that what I'm saying is not true? Because being weak doesn't mean that you don't see things as they are. They just gaslight you, man. In a world like this, they'll gaslight you. Remember, we weren't encouraged to speak our minds. We were encouraged to lie. We were encouraged to say what the higher ups want us to say. we're not encouraged to actually speak our minds. So people are so used to lying that when you speak the truth, they automatically assume that you're just weak. Because the truth is wicked, you see? Live in a world where people are really being treated like slaves. When you say, hey, but this is slavery, there's something wrong, there's something wrong with this. Oh, you're just weak. You're just weak. You're supposed to be doing what everyone else is doing. Stop complaining. Even if you're not complaining, you're just stating the obvious. This is what's going on. And it is important that we talk about what is going on. You know why? So that we do not make stupid mistakes. We need to be so damn aware that we stop making stupid mistakes. Because if we really are in a hell realm, like I'm saying, we are, there are things that we are doing that we need to stop doing. Is it? There are mistakes that we've been making that we need to stop making. Because if we continue to make these mistakes, we'll only perpetuate our own suffering. I think many religions agree that this is some kind of prison. This is some kind of hell. Many religions agree. Hindus will say, yeah, it is hell. I mean, they might not really say this is hell, but they believe in hell. And they believe that to escape hell, you need to do the right things. You need to learn how to treat other people well. You need to be a kind person, and you're going to be able to escape. Buddhists will say, it's just a state of mind. Actually, hell is a state of mind. You need to think positive thoughts, don't dwell on the negative. But we all agree that something is off. Abrahamic religions will say, hey, there's God and there's the devil. The devil, wants us to suffer here. That's why there's so much suffering, and there's God. What I'm saying to you is that all of that is BS. See, all these religions are actually telling you that this is positive. We are only suffering because there is something that we are doing wrong. That's why I say it's all BS. Buddhism is much closer to truth than many religions. Because yes, it is true that people suffer because of their own thoughts. But that's not the only reason why they are suffering. That is not the only cause of their suffering. Like, you do not suffer only because you think negative thoughts. And even if we only suffered because we think negative thoughts, it wouldn't mean that we're not in prison. You can be in prison and someone tells you that, hey, I understand that we're in prison, but try to think positive thoughts, you're going to feel better. That wouldn't mean that you're not in prison. That wouldn't mean that prison is a state of mind. No, you are actually in prison. If you're going to say prison is just a state of mind, you'll be lying to yourself. Understand? You're trying to be positive. Like, it's just a state of mind. No, it's just a state of mind. You are actually in prison. You're just trying to cope by thinking positive thoughts. So it's not just a state of mind. If you are in a prison, you are in a prison. What I'm telling you is that we're not here because we did something wrong in the past. And that's the reason why we are going through what we're going through. work on your karma. Blah, blah, blah. Like, nah. We are not suffering because we did something wrong in the past. Some people would say, oh, Christianity is true. We need to find God. We're not suffering because we haven't found God. And finding God isn't really going to solve your problems. You're suffering because things have been set up this way. These religions are only trying to justify suffering. See, if they tell you that, oh, you're suffering because you haven't accepted Christ, like, oh, so it means that I have to accept Christ. And you do accept Christ and you still suffer, then they come up with another excuse. You're suffering because, well, the devil is against you because you have accepted Christ. The devil is against the people who have accepted Christ, but in the afterlife, things will be fine. You know, you will find yourself in a better place as long as you never turn your back on Christ. You know, excuses after excuses. As long as you don't turn your back on Christ. This reminds me of the this Brazilian TV series, 3%, where some people, like most of the people, were living in poverty, and there was this place that was like, it was like a city where everything was fine, and only few people were allowed in that city, and they'll need to go through some crazy test in order to, you know, be allowed in the city. So only the 3% was allowed to live in the city, and everyone else had to suffer. So it's kind of like that. It's like you have to go through so much to actually qualify to be in heaven. Like, you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. You gotta stop thinking. You gotta trust God. Which God? It's not like I've met God. I mean, you are telling me that you believe in a God that actually exists, but I don't even see proof that he actually does exist, and you're asking me to trust him, and you're saying that if I trust him, I'm gonna make it to heaven. Like, that's the test. You're basically asking me to be stupid. So if I'm not stupid enough, I don't qualify, you know, to make it to heaven. So I have to be stupid. I have to be like, I believe you. I believe you. I believe that you know who God is. I believe that this God that you believe in is the right God. You know, because even if God did exist, it wouldn't mean that he's good. It wouldn't mean that he has our best interest at heart. I mean, if you read the Bible, you see that he did more horrible things than the devil, than the guy who's supposed to be the bad guy in the Bible. It's like if you watch a movie and the star of the movie is more horrible than the villain. Like, he's doing a lot of horrible things. The villain is not. The villain does horrible things, but compared to what the star of the movie is doing, it's nothing. That wouldn't really make sense, will it? Because, you know, movies usually not like that. Usually, you know, in movies, the villain is the one that's doing horrible things, and the star of the movie is the one, you know, who wants to, like, stop the villain. So you can see that people have been brainwashed so much that they don't even think thoroughly. They just regurgitate the things that they've been told. I've seen some people quoting the Bible in the comment section. I was like, why are you quoting the Bible? If you listen to what I was saying, now you're just quoting the Bible. You don't need to be quoting the Bible. You need to be telling me what you think. I need to know what you think, not what is written in the Bible. You know, remember, the Bible is part of your delusion. It's not part of my delusion. right? It's part of your delusion. So don't tell me about your delusion. You know what that will be like? It's like if someone was suffering from schizophrenia, right? And they were seeing things that were not there. And they told you that they were seeing things that were not, they were seeing these things, and you tell them that I don't see these things. Like, oh, I'm seeing these things. Like, no, I don't see these things. And maybe someone appears and tell them something, and they tell you what that person told them. Like, oh, this person has told me that we must go to this place now. Let's go. And you say, no. Why? It's not like I've seen this person. It's only you who's seeing this person. And they say, oh no, this person is actually saying that if we go to this place, we're gonna get something that we're looking for. Like, nah, man, like, that's your delusion. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me something that actually makes sense. Tell me something that's going to make sense to me, because I'm not seeing what you're saying. So it's your own delusion. But let's say, well, you do agree with them. Like, okay, it's fine, let's go. And then you find nothing. And then that person comes again and says they went to the wrong place. They must go to another place. And you listen, you go with them, and still nothing. Are you supposed to take that person seriously? Nope. People are trying to justify suffering. They don't want to admit the truth, which is that we're suffering because we are supposed to be suffering. And that is the truth. Like, we gotta stop making excuses and face the truth. Why are we suffering? We're suffering because we are supposed to be suffering, not because we are making bad decisions, not because we don't believe in the right God, not because of how we think. Yes, if you think positive thoughts, you're gonna feel much better, but that still wouldn't mean that you wouldn't suffer. That still wouldn't mean that this world would not be what it is. The world is what it is. No matter how you think, it is what it is it? You can lie to yourself, because some people actually believe that they must lie to themselves to feel good. And they use Buddhist teachings to actually justify lying to themselves. Like, I must think positive thoughts. Hell is a state of mind. You can see that what is happening is actually negative, but you want to think positive thoughts. You want to tell yourself that what is happening is actually positive. How are you going to grow? You see, you never grow if you are not willing to accept the ugliest truth about the world that you live in. If you're going to lie to yourself about what's going on, you're not growing. You're supposed to feel how you need to feel about what is going on. That's how you grow. If what is happening is wrong, you need to see that it's wrong. You don't need to tell yourself that, oh, what's happening is actually positive. It depends on how you think. It depends on how you look at it. No, it doesn't depend on how you look at it. If something that is happening is actually negative, it's actually negative. It cannot be negative and positive. All right? It can be positive for some people, but for you, it can either be negative or positive. So if it's actually negative, it's negative. It's not positive. Doesn't depend on how you look at it. Yes, there are things that can come out of a negative situation. That does happen. Some spiritual teachers will say, when bad things happen, you shouldn't worry that much. There are some things that are good that can come out of that. That does actually happen. I remember Guru said something like, there was this guy who maybe he was like a king who lost his leg. A week later, after losing his leg, his city was invaded, and they were looking for people who are strong, so that they'll take them away. So because he only had one leg, they didn't take him away. So that's a positive thing. Like that's how it usually happens in real life. That's not how it usually happens in real life. In real life, when negative things happen, usually nothing positive comes out of these negative things that happen. Yes, you can create something positive out of something negative. You can do that, but usually when something negative happens, it's just negative. So we need to be honest with ourselves about what we are actually seeing. If this is hell, we must be honest with ourselves that actually, yeah, it is hell, and stop trying to justify the things that are going on. We're trying our best to be positive. People at funerals trying their best to be positive. It doesn't matter what caused the death. They're trying their best to be positive. It's the will of God. He knows what he's doing. Like, what if it doesn't? What if God exists and he's evil? I mean, that's a possibility. Shouldn't we be suspicious? Shouldn't we keep an open mind? Should we just allow people to just tell us that this is good, even though it doesn't seem so good? Like, it is good because it is cool to say that this is good. It is cool to have a positive mindset. That's why people lie, bruh. I know people who have exited who will be saying positive things, and people will just think they're happy, like saying positive things all the time until they've had enough. They're not honest. They're lying because there's like they believe that that's the only way to play this game. You must wear a mask. If you're going to be real, people are going to judge you. Like, nah, be yourself. You know what's gonna happen if you're really going to become yourself? You're going to get used to being yourself, that you actually become better at being yourself. Like, if you've never been yourself, of course, if you're going to be yourself, because you're not used to being yourself, you're going to be weak in the beginning, because you've never really been yourself. But if you get used to being yourself, if you master being yourself, then you become powerful. Like, that's how it happens. But at first, you're going to be weak because you've never been yourself before. You've been lied to about a lot of things in this society that you live in. About a lot of things. You've been brainwashed in so many different ways. You live in a society where they never really give you the truth. You live in a society where it is actually taboo to speak the truth. It's actually taboo to feel your true emotions. It is taboo. It is actually taboo to feel your true emotions. You know that? It is taboo to express your true emotions. Say, hey, this is really how I feel. Like, it is taboo, bro. If you want people to not like you anymore, talk about how you really feel. You'll see. People are going to stop liking you. You might lose your girlfriend. You might lose your boyfriend, lose your wife, your husband, your friends. People might just stop liking you just because you are telling them what you really think. You're telling them what you really feel. Like, you're telling them how you really feel. So they won't be like, hey, this person is boring, or this person is weird. They think it's weird to be yourself. Is it because we are not supposed to be ourselves? So if you are going to be yourself, you're weird. You're just supposed to be like everyone else, even though everyone else have been misled. They've been made to reject themselves. What they've become is the opposite of what they were supposed to be. They were taught to neglect themselves. So they are made to be the enemies of themselves. You see? So when they see you and you are real, you remind them of what they were, and they were told to be the enemy of that. So they're going to be your enemy. That's how it works. You must be suspicious. If you're not allowed to truly speak your mind, that alone must make you suspicious. Because in a world that is actually good, you must be able to speak your mind. You must be able to say, this is how I really feel, without being judged, without, people acting like you're crazy. Why should people act like you're crazy if you're telling them what you really think? But if you lie, you're doing the right thing, and they respect you more when you lie than when you speak the truth, than when you speak your mind. Just work hard. Just work hard. Try to make money. One of the biggest signs that people are not happy is them working too hard. Think about it. If people were happy, do you think they'll be working too hard? They'll be competing? Or they'll be enjoying their lives? People are working too hard because they are not satisfied. So they tell themselves that, oh, maybe if I have this, maybe if I have that, I'm going to feel better. But do they ever get to feel better? Nope. So they keep on working, keep on working, keep on working, keep on working. And that's considered to be normal. Some people are not happy. They just like the fact that they're doing better than other people. I'm doing better than some people, so hey, at least. Like, they're not happy. Like, I've been with people that I thought were happy because they were doing much better than me in life, and I realized that no, they're not. What actually makes them feel like they are happy is the fact that they're doing better than some people. You find that they want to show off. Like, they want to show off. Why? Why do they want to show? They're not really happy, so they want other people to think they're doing better than them. Like, that's, that kind of like boost their ego. Like, yeah, I'm more successful than you. I have more money than you. Life is treating me better than it's treating you. Like, that makes them feel better, but it doesn't really mean they're happy, because if people were truly happy, they wouldn't even want to prove to anyone that life is treating them better than it's treating other people. Like, why would you even want to prove that to other people? Think about it. Like, it's actually childish when you think about it. But some people want other people to think they are doing better than them. I'm doing better than you. And even if they don't say that, because they won't say that directly, because it's kind of like embarrassing. You can't just walk around screaming, I'm doing better than you, when you're driving your car. But that's what they're thinking, and that's what they want other people to think. That's why when a person like buys a new car, post it on Facebook right away. Post it. Achieve something, post it. Why do you think they're doing that? You think they're doing that because they just want to celebrate with their friends? They know that their friends love them and just want to celebrate with them. I want to celebrate my success with my friends, because me winning is them winning. You know what I mean? Like, we came from the bottom, So I want to show my friends it's possible. Do you think that that's what they're thinking? Or you think they're thinking about their enemies? Thinking about their exes. Like, yeah, I want to show my ex that things are working out for me. I want to show my ex that I am something now. This reminds me of this video that I watched on Instagram. This reminds me of this video that I watched on Instagram. So this guy sees his ex walking on the sidewalk, right? He's driving a nice car. Sees his chick, she's walking on the sidewalk. She was like, "Hey, you remember when you told me that I wasn't gonna amount to anything and I was gonna become a drug addict? Look at me now." But it turns out he was not driving a car. He was actually in the street, looking like a junkie, but he thought he was driving a car. So the lady looked at him like, "Oh." She kept on walking because he actually did turn out the way she said the world. But yeah, people want their enemies to think they're doing better than them. That's how we are as people. They want the people who have rejected them to think they're doing better than them. Oh, that girl rejected me. She needs to see that I'm doing good now. Oh, that boy left me when I needed him. He needs to see that I'm doing good now. But they're not happy. Would you even have time to want to prove to other people that you're doing better in life if you truly were happy? Because here's the thing, like you doing that is you actually trying to feel some level of happiness. You know what I mean? You're not feeling happy, so you bought what you wanted. You bought the kind of car that you wanted, and you still don't feel happy. So you're like, okay, maybe if other people see me driving this car, I'm gonna feel happy. But still, you don't feel happy. And then you want to buy another car. Still, you don't feel happy. You want to buy a big house. Still, you don't feel happy. Buy another house. You don't feel happy. Doesn't that tell you something? Some people in the comments said they're doing good in life and that. But you could, like, bro, I have this weird ability of being able to see the truth. Like, I'm able to, like, if you send me a text, I see more than what you're trying to tell me. All right. So if you comment, I see more than what you're trying to tell me. Someone post a long comment talking about how better their life is. Like, why do you even gotta tell me that? Like, it sounds like you're trying to prove something, or like that what I'm saying makes a lot of sense, and you're trying to like prove something to yourself. Because I know people are like that because we have big egos. So someone comes across my video and be like, this guy's speaking the truth. But then they try to think of something because they want to believe that what I'm saying is not true, right? Because that they're afraid of what it actually means. So they try to think of a way to oppose what I'm saying. So it's kind of like them seeking validation, They post something long and they wish that someone can comment and say, yeah, you're actually right. This guy is actually nuts. You're right. This guy is nuts. Like, that's what they want because they see that I'm making sense. And they do not want what I'm saying to be the truth. And trust me, I don't want what I'm saying to be the truth. I actually do want to be living in a world that is actually good. And I do want humanity to actually be even being brought here for a good reason, but when you look at things thoroughly, you'd see that it doesn't make sense to believe that. Like, it makes more sense to believe the opposite. It's not like I want what I'm telling y'all guys to be the truth. No, I'm just interested in the truth, no matter what it is. Why? Because I know that there's the only way we are liberating ourselves, right? Like, there's the only way that we are liberating ourselves. We're not liberating ourselves by lying to ourselves. We're not liberating ourselves by thinking positively all the time. When there's something wrong, you must be able to realize that there is something wrong. Just telling yourself that, I must just try to think positive thoughts and I'll be if there's something wrong, you must be able to realize that there is something wrong, so that you will do what needs to be done to actually solve the problem. You're not solving the problem by lying to yourself. If you're in a relationship with someone and that person was lying to you, manipulating you, they just wanted your money, you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to think positive, think positively all the time. Nah, they don't. I mean, this person has bought me this yesterday, so it means they don't want my money. What if they're just manipulating you? Like, you need to see the truth in every situation. You need to be able to see the truth. Yes, sometimes it's possible to see things negatively even when they're positive. That's also possible. So you must you must be aware that that is possible. NPBO is real, but the opposite of that is real too. Naive positivity and blind optimism is real, but the opposite of that is real too. You can think so negatively that even in a positive situation, even when you are in a situation where things can really work out for you, you are only seeing negativity. That does happen. You find that the person in any situation, they're seeing negativity. They don't see what the solutions could be. Like, that does happen. That is real. But NPBO is more common than people just seeing negativity all the time. Like, NPBO is more common because we have been trained to be positive, to lie to ourselves. So no matter what happens, we're supposed to say, hey, it's positive. But the truth is, a lot of things that are happening in this world are just too messed up, man. A lot of things that are happening in this world, should actually make us suspicious. We shouldn't just comply and act as if everything is okay, act as if we know what we're doing, act as if we trust the people who are controlling everything, act as if we trust the beings that are controlling us. Get to a point where people sell their souls. What do I mean by selling your soul? It gets to a point where a person be like, hey, I'm not going to be myself anymore. I'm just going to give myself to this being, to this God, depending on what religion they believe in. And I'm only going to listen to this God. So it doesn't matter how I think. It doesn't matter how I feel. They don't realize that that's another trap. Like, that in itself is a trap. Because you're supposed to neglect yourself. You're supposed to say, hey, I don't know anything. This God knows something. But find that it's not even a God that actually exists. So you really neglecting yourself. It will not be different from like someone who actually has schizophrenia and listening to the people that they see. You're living in your own world. You're living in your own delusion. It's the truth that's going to set us free. The truth is knowing the truth. There's a reason why the truth has always been kept away from people. There's a reason why when people speak the truth, they're being discouraged. There's a reason why when you watch anything mainstream, you don't really get the deepest truth. It's like they just everything is shallow, right? Like, they never really go deep into things. Like, oh, this is too controversial. This is this and that. It's kind of like if you ask Meta AI a question, right? Meta AI is going to be try to be as neutral as possible. Like, it's not going to be raw. It's just try its best to be as neutral as possible. Why? It's because the real truth has to always has to always to be has to always be considered taboo, so that people never really seek for the real truth. People should just seek for comfort. You should just try to find water in hell, right? That's it. Like, instead of realizing that they're actually in hell and they need to do what needs to be done to actually free themselves, than to just look for water, than to just look for distractions. There's this quote from the series BoJack Horseman from Mr. Peanut Butter. It's like my favorite quote from the series. And I like this quote especially because Mr. Peanut Butter is like a dog. So he's dating this girl. She's a human. She's very intelligent, like a very intelligent human. She was not happy. She was dealing with depression, and Mr. Peanut Butter gave her an advice. And he was like, the world is a cruel, uncaring void. The key to happiness is in seeking for meaning. So just keep yourself distracted with unimportant nonsense, and one day you it'll all be over, right? You just keep yourself distracted with unimportant nonsense, and one day, like, that is the truth. The truth is that the world is a cruel and caring void. But some people will deny, like, will deny that is true because of toxic positivity. And no, that's not true. The world is what you make it to be. What? Life is what you make it. No, not really. There are a lot of things that are happening around you that you do not control, right? Or that you do not control consciously. So these things can make your life a living hell, because you're not in control of these things. You'd like to be in control, but you're not in control. So these things can make your life a living hell, because you don't know how to control these things. There are people who can do things to you that these things can really affect you in a negative way. You don't just live alone. If you lived alone, that will be, that would make sense. Like, yeah, life is what you make it, because, well, you are alone. But it doesn't seem that way. I tell people that my favorite philosophy is solipsism, which is the idea that you can only be sure of your own mind. Like, you can only be sure of the existence of your own mind. But that still wouldn't mean that, let's just say other people didn't exist. That wouldn't mean that it doesn't appear to you as if they do. That doesn't mean that if someone wanted to rob you, it wouldn't feel like you are being robbed by another person. So even if you were the only conscious being, it wouldn't really mean that you know how to control this reality. So when say life is whatever you make it to be, what they're really saying is that if you work hard and you do what you need to do, you can make your life better. If you don't work hard, if you're gonna be lazy, that can make your life worse. This is what they're saying. But we're not in control. I know that people can decide to work very hard and still not find happiness, still find themselves stressing, or work very hard and still not find success, or work very hard and find success, but then it gets taken away from them for some reason. We are not in control. That's the thing. So no matter what you try to do in your life, you must realize that you're not really in control. There are forces that are more powerful than you in this realm that are making things happen. It should be obvious when you look at how things actually work. When you look at our history, when you look at the fact that the truth has always been kept away from us, like we've been lied to about like everything, man, everything, you know, we're not really allowed to know the truth. It's like enlightenment is a personal journey. Like if you want to know the truth, you must really be willing. You know, you mustn't be just trying to do what everyone else is doing. You must be ready to be alone in self first, so that you actually figure out what the truth is. You know, that's how you grow. Like I was telling you guys, that we grow by, you know, being able to really accept the truth, no matter what it is, than, you know, brainwashing ourselves, than forcing ourselves to be positive no matter what. Where were we? I had to go and get another beer. So my conclusion is that what is going on in the world is not a positive thing. This does not mean that you cannot make things better for yourself. That does not mean that you cannot cope better. Just like if you were in a maximum prison, there will be some things that you'll do to cope better, right? And there will be some things that you do to make your life miserable. Like it's possible to make your life more miserable than it should be in a maximum prison. It's possible to make your life better than it actually should be in a maximum prison, but that wouldn't change the fact that you are in a prison. The mistake that religious people are making is that they convince themselves that it actually means that it's not a prison. That is the mistake that Buddhists are making. There's a mistake that Christians are making. There's the mistakes that Hindus are making. What I'm saying to you is that no, it's not a good place. It's not a good place. It wasn't created for our own growth. Whatever created this was, you know, being selfish. Whatever trapped us here was being selfish. That is what I'm saying. Like regardless of what they've made you believe, I'm saying that's not the truth. The truth is that whatever put us here, whatever is giving us this so-called reality, is actually selfish, and there is something that it's gaining from us. It doesn't want to just like torture us. You wouldn't want to torture anyone for no reason. The good thing is that there isn't anything that is that evil, right? That will just want to torture something for no reason. Even psychos, even a psycho that would torture someone, it's not like there's no reason why they're torturing them. There's something that they're gaining from torturing them, right? Like they love seeing that person suffer, so that's what they're gaining. Like they're empty, so they believe that they're gonna feel better after making that person suffer. But that's the thing, you know, people are not just evil, like they're straight up just evil. Animals are not just evil. A lion doesn't just kill because it's evil. It wants to eat, right? So even the beings that are controlling us, not like they're just evil. No, there is something that they want, and they're able to get what they want from, you know, creating this kind of experiences that they're actually creating for us. But from our perspective, they are evil. Just like from animals' perspective, we are evil, right? The animals that people eat. You think they think we're good when we, can eat them? No. They actually think we're evil. But we don't look at ourselves as if we're evil. So even these beings, they don't look at themselves as if they're evil. They don't look at themselves as if what they're doing is wrong. They convince themselves that what they're doing is right. Like, why shouldn't they do what they're doing? Why shouldn't they get energy from us? And even if you don't believe that that's what's happening, you might tell yourself that no, they're not getting energy from us. We're just suffering because of our own actions and all that. But what you must realize is that there is something that they're gaining from watching this movie, like this movie called Earth Happening. So maybe it's for entertainment, like in the Truman Show. But they want things to be this way. If they didn't want things to be this way, they would help us. They would try to communicate with us in some way. They would actually try to tell us what we need to do in order to, free ourselves. Like in ways that are clear, not just speak to some people. If they just talk to me and I'm supposed to tell y'all what they're saying, no, that's like they would try to make it clear. Or if they wanted to talk to me and they wanted me to tell y'all what's going on, they will need to give me some superpowers. I should be able to make this thing float, so that you believe that, yeah, actually I am talking to aliens and this is what they're saying. Or I'm talking to these archons, this is what they're saying. I'm talking to the gods, this is what they're saying. I'm talking to angels, this is what they're saying. But if I'm just this regular person, why should you believe me? If I'm going through the same things that y'all are going through, I don't have some superpowers, why should you believe me? If I say, these beings that are telling me this and that. No, these people that are saying they are channeling aliens, why should we believe them? If they cannot prove that, if they cannot know some things. I mean, think about it. If someone, for example, is channeling Bashar, right? Bashar should know something that he can tell that guy, I forgot his name, that the guy that is claiming is channeling Bashar. But Bashar should tell him something that he shouldn't know. He should tell him some secrets that he shouldn't know, that he can verify for himself, and that he can, tell everyone to verify for themselves. Like, tell me some secrets about, the universe. Tell me something, tell me how to do something that other people cannot do. Don't just tell me that, hey, where Earth is a school, everyone, like, not. Tell me something that will make people believe that what you're telling me is true. Tell me some secrets. Help me win the lottery or something, because you're supposed to also see the future. Yeah, a bit. I'm supposed to tell my audience that I'm going to win the lottery next week, and I actually win the lottery next week. And this one, people will be like, okay, yeah. But if I'm just a regular person speaking saying that I'm channeling aliens, it would just sound like I'm actually crazy. So I have to be able to do some things that normal people cannot do. Isn't it weird that these people that are channeling aliens, these aliens are not telling them anything like really important? You know what I mean? Like something that can really prove, something that they can use as proof that they are actually talking to aliens. Tell us something, man. Tell us something. So this should show us that even if these people are channeling aliens, these aliens don't really give a shit about us. They just want us to believe what they want us to believe. You know, simple as that. Because if they started performing miracles, we would want more miracles. We would want things to be better. So they want things to be this way. They want us to be uncertain. They want us to fight. You know, they want to cause division. Because here's the thing: if you're not going to tell people the truth about where they come from, what's really going on here, they're going to make shit up in their own heads, right? Benedict Time is going to make shit up in his own head. Other people are going to make shit up in their own heads, and they're going to tell their audience what they think. And what's going to happen? Division. So we don't have like the truth that we know is the truth. Like we just have to keep on searching and searching and searching. That like really cause division. That's why Christians are mad at me for my message. Like they're mad at me for saying the things that I say on this channel, and that causes division. You know, because they feel angry. They convince themselves that I was sent by the devil. I'm a bad person and I deserve to go to hell. They tell themselves that, so that automatically causes division. And I tell myself that they're ignorant. That's why they believe what they believe. They're like under hypnosis. That's why they can't see that what I'm saying is the truth. That's division. So really, if these beings wanted us to be free, and they will actually tell us what the truth is. We're not supposed to have faith, figure out what the truth is. We're supposed to be told what the truth is and know what the truth is. We deserve to know. You see? You must take yourself seriously enough to understand that you actually deserve to know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to believe that there's this being who's only going to help me if I believe he exists. Why doesn't he first prove that he can exist? That would be like if I was able to perform magic and I told my audience, hey, you have to first believe that I can perform magic. Oh, not only should you believe, actually you should do the things that I say you must do first. So you must believe in me first and do the things that I say you must do first, and that's when I'm going to perform magic for you. Like, what? Perform magic? Prove that you can perform magic so that people will be interested. They'll be like, hey, because you're the one who has to prove. They can't prove that you can perform magic. You are the one who has the power to prove that you can perform magic. You see, God has the power to prove that he's God. We don't have the power to prove that he's God. No matter what I do, I cannot prove that there's a God. You see, Christians cannot prove that there's a God. Muslims cannot prove that no one can prove that there's a God. But God can prove that he exists. But nigga is hiding. So that should tell you something. That even if there was a God, he would actually want us to be fighting. He would actually want us to be debating, want us to be giving him energy. You know, the more we debate, the more we hate one another, the more we feel lonely, because you can see that people are lonely now. You know, people are disconnected. At least the internet helps. But if you realize that we're not like the people who are like you, that they don't live where you live. People who are as conscious as you are don't live where you live. So of course you're gonna be lonely, because you still want to be with your clan. You don't want to be with people who are gonna make you feel like more alone when you're with them. So you feel alone when you're alone, and then when you're with other people you feel more alone because you realize how different you are from them. I mean, that sucks. So it's obvious that whatever like has power in this realm doesn't really want us to wake up and be free. No, it wants us to struggle. It wants us to fight. It wants us to hate one another, not understand one another, bully one another. That's what it wants. It wants me to make these videos so that Christians will find these videos and get angry. So that we'll get energy from them. It wants Christians to be ignorant, follow pastors that you can see that, oh, this guy is fake, like, come on. So that people who are rational are going to be like, what's going on? They'll be mad, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense. Like, we're supposed to always be fighting instead of finding a way to, unite and actually work together. Because the truth is that we really don't have a clue what is actually going on. But it makes more sense to think that we're not having a positive experience. Why should we think that we're not having a positive experience? Because we don't know anything and there's so much suffering, and people are brought here without their consent. We just bring people here and then we say, hey, here's what you must do. If that person says, oh, I don't want to do these things that you're saying I must do, we say, hey, you're lazy, you're weak, you're this and that, gaslight them. Like, that is obviously not right. The fact that a lot of people do not know how to make money. A lot of people want to be employed but are unemployed. In my country, more than 60% of young people are unemployed and they are educated. Most young people in my country are actually educated. Most young people in my country have done what they needed to do, but still unemployed. Who do we blame? Do we blame them? Like, they didn't study what they needed to study? Like, no, something is just wrong. So we need to be honest with ourselves. Toxic positivity is not the way to go. Blind optimism is not the way to go. NPBO is not the way to go. There needs to be radical honesty. Even if it's not easy to be honest, there still needs to be radical honesty. Thank you all, guys.